Okay, guys, we're here on a Monday, November 18th. 11:12 a.m. is when I'm doing this. And I'm not expecting anybody to pop in here because people work. I am home on sick leave for today. And I took this time to do a little bit more research about the video that I did yesterday about, unless you've been living under a rock, and where I was staying off of social media, I wasn't quite as informed as I needed to be yesterday. So I took this time to really do a little bit of digging on COPPA going through here, affecting channels of gaming, toys, nostalgia, and comics and things like that. And I knew it was serious, but after doing some of my research, I was real careful on the videos that I got through, that I came through on, because people who make a living at YouTube are running scared, and that can kind of put out a little bit of panic in in what they were having to say, and understandably and stuff. So basically, my whole thing was to try to make sure I found credible information. And I can go through all the things I watched and checked out. Hey, Matilda, what's going on? And basically, what happened was I quit everything, decided to try to do this live stream, had a call from work, started again. Hey, Dr. Silver Age. But this COPA thing hitting YouTube is a serious matter. It's all about choosing the hill you die on. And I made it pretty clear yesterday, if you saw my live stream, that this has always been a hobby of mine. I don't know if I'm leaving or not. That's what I'm going to talk about, Matilda Gothica. Stay Puff 83 is out there, right? So basically what I found out, the things that are crazy talking about it, bits and pieces and clips of it. And I quit. Oh, trying to reconnect. Of course, it's a Monday. Why is this happening? Can you guys still see me? So I have the good internet. This should be happening. Okay, anyway, moving on here. But basically, I saw the FCC video where they had a gentleman up on the stage, and he pretty much made the comment about it's going to be like shooting fish in a barrel. YouTube is the barrel, and the content creators are the fish, right? Now, we're in the ballpark where I have some experience sort of dealing with this type of thing. It's still apples and oranges. It's not the same, but the reason I got rehired a couple years ago back at a place that I worked at is they made a special spot for me because the state of Virginia got sued for some clients way out somewhere. I'm not going to go into it. You can, if you're really interested, you can Google search it. But anyways, the social work, healthcare field really got hit with a lawsuit back in 2012, I think, and what it was. And a lot of my cases that I got were high priority cases where the Department of Justice was involved about closing down training centers and having to relocate these people. So I have been in meetings of relocating tons of people. I have 3 years that are a blur. I would be in meetings with lawyers from the DOJ and lawyers who also had a education in social work. I've dealt with auditors that were flown down by the DOJ from out of state, as far as Maine and things like that. So it's serious stuff, right? But when I saw that FTC video where they said that about being shooting in the barrel, and then watching YouTube's video and a few other things that they put out about this and stuff, the biggest thing that I've seen is that YouTube was fined $170 million, which everybody probably still knows. And now what they've done is they've put it around to where you are, whatever you put on YouTube, you are responsible for. I'm not going to get into if I think that's right or not, but YouTube has done this thing to where you have a chance to save each video or live stream you put up as for kids. And they had an algorithm go through your channels and look at your videos to say if they were or weren't. But when the FTC comes in January, none of that matters. They're going to do their own thing. And the thing that gets me is that I'm going to hang in here through December because we don't have the information. Nobody is clear on what's going on. In an answer of like going and see a lawyer to see if your videos are for children is their answer and stuff, right? We don't have all the information. We don't have everything that qualifies your video. What are the standards? What are we looking for? There's no clear cut anything. And the biggest thing is that each video that goes against this FTC standard could be fined over $42,000 per video. I don't know about where you live, but where I live, a majority of the people around here don't even make that much a year. And that's just amazing. That's more than my student loans. So the vagueness of it and YouTube sort of saying it's in your hands makes people have a lot of decisions to make. And it's kind of stopped me from doing some videos I have. Now, like I said, there's a lot of channels freaking out. There's a lot of people that's already left. I went through some of my subscribers, some of the channels I'm subscribed to, and I actually saw a little bit. Now, remember, it's a small channel. I made that clear that I have here. But there was a decline in some of my viewing. So there's people already gone. That's what blows my mind. They're getting out. So what does that mean? Does that mean I need to delete all my content from the last 8 or 9 years? I'm gonna go ahead and say that if you know a way to rip the videos off of here, because there's a couple I'd like to keep, but yeah, it's a sad state of affairs, and comment section could be gone. This could be gone. YouTube is about to change. You can swing a stick right now and find a video. But like I said, I tried to find credible sources and make sure I wasn't getting misinformation. But I think it's right now, nobody knows exactly what they're looking for. And go see a social media lawyer. So I want to hang in there and see if other things come to light. I cannot imagine going into a new decade and having everything change like that. But at the same time, this is serious stuff, because in my experience of dealing with the little bit I have dealt with DOJ in my job and a few other things, is that there's usually a show of authority. They look for somebody to make an example of. And that's just it. I don't know. There's a lot of money to be made. I mean, let's just get that out there. There's a lot of money to be made. And anything that YouTube is doing right now to prepare you for this, it's a liability thing, in my opinion. They're doing whatever they have to do to say that we made an effort. We informed the content creators. Watch so much YouTube, I'm using the terminology here and stuff that it's just ridiculous. And basically, YouTube just got in trouble. They just got in trouble for unethical behavior. And it's anybody that wants to make their site something that's taken the hit. YouTube's covered, in their opinion. So I'm kind of wondering, all the people who are in the comments, all the people that are still making videos, how long are they going to be around and stuff, right? That's what we got here. Surly Tim's Fun Bunker. I'm planning to move to BitChute. I have a channel, but I'm not leaving entirely. And I'm wondering about the past videos, the videos that are already uploaded and stuff. Can they stay or not? I don't think they can on a lot of them. What's the algorithm going to be about? It's one thing to talk about nostalgia in comics and stuff, but if you mention the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it all goes back to not understanding what the hobby is, defining, coming up, trying, people who are not into this stuff, trying to define what it is. I mean, there's all kinds of ways to go through it, argue about it. I've always said that with the stigma of comics, it's always been there for kids, no matter how far we think we've come. And I stand by that. And this is just proof of that. It's not about trying to prove I'm right, but it's just one more thing that, just kind of shows what this is about. So I really do think that with the changes coming, it's going to take a big hit if it doesn't disappear altogether on this, about what we have here and what we're doing. See what we got here. You can download free YouTube, download and rip your videos. Yeah, I'll tell you what, if anybody wants to jump over to Twitter and send me a link or an article or something about how to download a few videos, like I said, there's probably only like about 10, 11, 12 I want to do that with. Go on over to Twitter, message me. It'd be much appreciated, because I've got things I have to do, and it looks like I'm gonna have to make up my time at work. I hate being needy like that, but hey, we got limited time here. So yeah, is YouTube screwing themselves over is what somebody's asking and stuff. Somebody does this as a hobby. The fact that they got fined, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar and stuff, they already have. This is by their actions that this has happened. We're beyond the point, putting blame on things that have already happened, and now it's in the future about who's going to get the fickle finger pointed at them for stuff, right? And they have covered themselves to where it's per creator. This is serious stuff. We're talking about, you can look at my channel, small views. I don't think I need to say that I appreciate everybody that's stuck around and done this stuff, but I think everybody has enough common sense to know that Nobody wants to get fined $42,000 over and over. And I'm thinking it's up to $42,000. I don't know if that's a set. That's another thing that's not clear. Could it be a $10 fine up to a $42,000 fine? Nobody wants to get fined. Nobody wants to have to pay anything for something like this. I personally enjoy this, so that's where my head shakings come from, man. This is something that's pretty freaking innocent on the most part. There are places on YouTube that this is needed. There are some messed up channels. There are some messed up things. There's very few things in the world that I consider black and white, excuse me, and they're out there. You know what I mean? And we're getting caught in, it's like a direct, atomic bomb hitting, but there's a lot of collateral damage. You get your target, but there's a lot of people around that are going to get hit too. Just seems to be the way of the world now here. Matilda Gothica, I swear in every video, wonder if that will help. I don't think that's what it's about. I don't think it's about what your actions are. I think, grain of salt, that's what I mean. I'm afraid to really, not afraid. I don't want to put misinformation out there, but I think it's about what you're talking about, not how you're talking about it. You follow what I'm saying? The word toys was a big one that came up. Video games. There was an actual list of a few things that, as vague as they were, did hit home, like gaming, toys. Comics wasn't mentioned in the list I saw, but that could have changed, But still, it all crosses over. It's all still the same kind of, it's all in the same fruit basket, unfortunately. Let me see. It's all about shifting responsibility to the creators, regardless of the reaping the benefits of a platform. Yeah, that's what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. It's one of the most unethical things I've ever seen. You have a website that is dependent on what people upload. And I guess they figure people are going to do it no matter what. And like I said, there's people that make a living doing YouTube. And that's one of the things I've always been like, are you kidding me? Are they trying to find bad for kids type of material? That's the vagueness of it. It's all about how YouTube collected information, I guess, for advertising or something on kids, which was illegal. So they paid their $170 million fine, and now they're showing that they're taking steps to not have this happen again by putting it on the creators on what they upload. I'm just going to see what we got here. I'm just going to designate all my past videos for adults, which should meet the criteria. I think gamers who earn a living from YouTube are maybe the most at risk since they're kids. So many kids see their videos. Well, Gore Vidal, that sounds like a fantastic idea. I've actually thought about that myself. But again, it goes into the content of what's in those videos. I don't think it matters how you age restrict them. It's all about accessibility, and we all know that kids are going to watch what they want to watch. It's too subjective now. That's the whole thing, the vagueness that is there. FTC will come in January, and they're going to run their own algorithm and find what they want, and that's when people are finally going to have a better idea of what they're after. What YouTube is doing now goes out the door. That's just it. What YouTube has done now, telling you that we marked certain videos as content for kids or not, means nothing for when the FTC come in, because they're going to come in and YouTube's not us. That's how it works. And that's why I'm saying my dealings with the DOJ, even though it's a completely different animal, that's pretty much how it goes. Nobody knew anything. I have boxes of paper files and stuff from the transfers I've done out of the training centers that I cannot get rid of because they can come back and review anytime they want. And that's how I feel like the FTC can do. If they miss things on the first go around, they're continually going to check on things. What passes one time might not pass in 6 months because they have new standards. This is what I'm saying. I'm a little bit in the game on this one. I know what can go on in the long run. They can change whatever they want whenever they want. Your laws can change whenever they want, and they can go back and get you. If they go into YouTube and say, you know what, our algorithm doesn't cover this, we'll change it and we'll run it again and see if we can get them. There's a potential to make $42,000 per video, and there's millions and millions of videos on YouTube. Okay. Do the math. YouTube isn't screwing themselves. For the most part, the YouTube comic-centric channels don't make YouTube any money. They could care less about the community. I again, it's more about the FTC than YouTube. This is hitting all kinds of communities on YouTube. It's collateral damage. Nobody worries about collateral damage is how I feel about it. Still a good point. It's not just us, but I have to, here's the ground zero for this channel and for a lot of comic book stuff. Lego channels, anything to do with toys, nostalgia, cartoon channels. I've seen channels where they do flip books for animation. I've seen videos where there's a community of people who do time-lapse videos of puzzles. That's what I mean. The more you dig into it, the more the questions are up. Puzzles, are they for kids? I've seen them in nursing homes as an activity for the elderly. Great big, huge, quilting beads, a quilting bee for the, but it's a puzzle. Wow. Yes, a Monday show, man. Matilda Gothic is cracking me up. YouTube mentioned a week before this that they were going to purge channels that were not profitable to them. This frees them of their responsibility, and they can blame it on the COPPA thing. Yes, that's what I mean. There's the fallout of this is huge. Like I said, atomic bomb hit, and everybody around it is going to feel the effects and stuff, right? And I feel like they've been. It's one of those things where I don't want to get into conspiracy theory, but since the adpocalypse and the things, it feels like YouTube has been steered and shaped and molded to where things were going to go this way anyway. They wanted more channels that would feel like entertainment and its own sort of television more than people coming on here and just talking about whatever. The bot chooses what the content is, and FTC will make the judgment from there. Your personal ratings will be irrelevant after January 1st. Yep. I'm having to, I don't know, maybe I'm getting to think some of this algorithm stuff is already hitting. I'm having to approve a bunch of messages here. Ross Sanders, also, then they should watch with the kids, the damn parents, to see if it's suitable for them. That's been a thing forever. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But like I mentioned yesterday, I dipped my toe in working with kids in schools for 5 or 6 years and stuff. And that's once you see things, once you're involved in the system and stuff, you totally get that there needs to be somebody out there speaking for children and stuff. That's why I'm not on the fence with this. But in a perfect world, parents would watch them. But unfortunately, you've heard the thing where you can get a license to drive a car. You need a license to go fish. You need a license for a gun, but anybody can have a kid. That's a whole other video and stuff like that. And you're absolutely right. It should happen like that. I heard that December 10th could be a big date for starting this, but that rumor is at this point. Shirley Tim's Fun Bunker. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that I'm hanging into December, because everything I am seeing that is credible says January. But we don't know. Everything is so vague. We don't know. If it turns into December, I wouldn't be surprised. But it seems like everything I've seen is January is the big date. This is just like bloody censorship and Mary Whitehouse on Doctor Who. Wow, sounds like it's time to look for a new venue to share this collection with the community. How many folks can afford to risk a chance of a $42,000 fine? I can't, no. And there's a part of me that's always been contrary. I don't really call it rebellious, but I've called it contrary. But this is something, as an adult, you just can't test. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, what hill do you want to die on? Is this worth it? And common sense tells me it's just get out, don't get the fine, see what happens, get more information, and then decide if you want to do it or not. It's really, at the end of the day, when you have a job and a life and people around you, it's not that big a deal. It's, like I said, it's the bigger channels that are freaking out who actually make a living at this. Yeah, BitChute's getting mentioned a lot. Gore Vidal, I understand, Tim. I hope you find a way to keep your videos on YouTube. You're a great asset to the comic book community. Thank you. You're not a speculator, a ranter, etc. Your love of comics has been beneficial. Yeah, I appreciate that. I kind of touched yesterday on some of the positives that came out of this, which is one of the things that kept me going when I kind of got steered wrong, got a little emotional, got tired of trolls and things I didn't put out there on the camera and stuff like that. So I would say that it's been probably something like 75% positive with 25% crap, you had to put up with. Century Stir Fry. Centauri Stir Fry. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna give you a heads up. I have had to. Yesterday was my third time having to subscribe to you. I don't know what's up with that, but I have subscribed to you. The first time I was, second time I subscribed to you, I was in doubt. Maybe I didn't do it the first time, but when I did it the third time, I'm like, yeah, that's what I thought. He says I can't prove it, but I'm pretty sure my wife is behind this. She's tired of me talking comics. That's hilarious. Dr. Silver Age, will do. Thanks, Shirley Tim. Okay, yeah. Again, people talking about each other. So yeah, I just wanted to say that new stuff has come to light. I delved into a few things as much as I could, realized what was vague, what wasn't. And I mean, like I said, I knew this was serious, but I didn't realize the intensity of it, if you get what I'm saying. Shirley Tim's Bunker, they have been making the shift to television basically for a few years now. They can make a ton of cash from CNN and celebrities like Will Smith. Yeah. So I think it's just a reality that we could be losing something that has been very cool for a very niche group. A lot of other communities and other things like that are going to be hit, definitely be hit. And I feel like that once they come in here and look at these videos to figure out what the finds were, make an example out of somebody, it's just going to be one more thing that they're going to find, and it's going to be a nothing. So I see this as just a stepping stone. This is the foundation for other things that are going to come. And the difference here is that it's never going to leave. Never going to leave. There's always going to be something else to refine, to find, to, okay, here's what we think YouTube is. Here's what we're going to do with the videos. We're going to run an algorithm. Oh, look at this, what we found here. Now let's adjust this because we didn't know about this. The more they learn about YouTube, the more they learn about content creators, the more they learn about communities, they learn about what's in the videos, the more that they can pick and pick and pick and pick and refine and refine and refine. So I think this is just the precursor of more things to come. The apocalypse that everybody was worried about came and went. People got hit, things like that. Now we have this coming, and it's going to be one more thing after this. This is just the calm before the storm. One of my few Chicken Little moments of the sky is falling, but I think it's based in reality. Okay. They are fear mongering now, Tim. Yeah, and that's kind of what when somebody has power that they can actually do what they're talking about, that's a rational fear. I am right now, we'll fear it later because of all the content that I have, where I have a video where I've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in the title. I'm not quite there yet, but I can see it happening. But like I said, I want to play it out, be rational here, see what other news hits as we get closer to January. But I'm going to be paying attention to it. $42,000 fine. They have the power to do that. That's the thing. They have the power to do that. Yep, once the horses leave the barn. Exactly, Dr. Silver Age. Man, a lot of messages are held for view. I just hit 100 subscribers. Just my luck. That's funny. Ongoing efforts for totalitarianism. Censor the pedo and unfriendly kid frozen Spider-Man that put not me, bloody idiots. Thanks, man. Yeah, I touched on some of the one. I named one of those channels yesterday that's just out there, and that's what I mean. When it comes to those channels that are dangerous to kids and they're out there in the pedophile community that is out there and stuff, we're the collateral damage around that. If it wasn't for things like that, these people, there wouldn't be a law for COPPA and stuff, right? Oh, thanks, man. Yeah. Yeah. And people are bringing up stuff like totalitarianism and fascists and stuff like that. I'm going to throw out a little something here and stuff like that. People who are into socialism and stuff like that, but at the same time want to rage against something like this, saying it's government involved and stuff like that. It would be worse with socialism and stuff. I see people kind of jumping in there a little bit with the isms and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of wanted to get out there that there's new stuff. This is serious. Tread carefully. Tread very carefully. And I will talk about this as time comes up. One of the things I'm wondering is if I still wanted to do this, what content can I put on here? You know what I mean? Nobody can come up with a real B plan if they wanted to stay. Everybody's talking about bit shoot and moving to things. I feel like the FTC or whatever, this COPPA law, it's going to be across the board with other sites, Vimeo. I don't know about Dailymotion. And one of the things I've seen, or I saw one comment of somebody saying that they're in Africa. Good luck coming to get their fine that they're uploading to YouTube. This stuff could be global one day. That's the whole thing. There's a way to, it's like copyright law, I don't want to get into it because I'm not a lawyer, but steps could be taken to wherever it's available, it could hit one day, but we're talking down the line. This is more big business being lazy and passing the buck. I can't wait to see all the Hollywood tickets on Money to Rewind 2019. Matilda is just coming out with the claws today, man. That's awesome. All right, guys. I don't think I really have too much more to say about this. I can just say that look into it. Like I said, do just a random Google search. Look at some of these channels and stuff. I did see the first video I saw was the guy used his name, so I can't remember who it is. But I might look it up here. But he has a Lego channel, and he was like, "I'm out, and that was real interesting to see. He was really freaking out, which amazed me. I'll see if I can find his name. You can look at that channel. I'll tell you to look at that channel, and then they'll kind of give you a start on how to start looking at more credible people here. Can't believe there's so many people watching on a Monday. This is fantastic. Great. I listened to old radio shows and rain at night to sleep. So apparently I fell asleep and this thing just played. But like I said, I didn't even know there was a Lego community on here, which surprised me because every now and then I kind of go out to see this stuff and see what's out there in case I want to make new videos. See, Mini Superheroes Today Official was a channel I looked at. That was one of them, but that's not the video. I think I actually have a playlist that I've made. Here it is. AFOL man, a foul man. AFOL, and then the second word is man. He was with the first video I found to watch on this. Okay. What we got here? Internet, it had a good run. Move back to Google Hangouts underground community. That's from Evan. Didn't even know that was still out there. Dr. Silverage, appreciate you sounding the horn, Tim Meister. Oh, yeah, that's really all I can do right now is just let people say, hey, if you haven't paid attention, you might want to now. Why Legos for everyone and not just for kids? That's just it. They're being very black and white with this, and they don't want to hear explanations. Now, one of the things I did run across, and it was on Retrogasm, is that apparently there is some links in one of their videos talking about this to where FTC is asking for people to comment and educate them about things, right? And they can go and they can talk about it. There's people that are fighting this, but I feel like it's sort of like a town council meeting. I actually went to a couple of those. People can string me up for saying this and stuff, but I feel like all you're doing is providing a platform, a place to say that you were heard, so that you can't come back at them in the future when they do what they want to do to say that you didn't have the opportunity. I don't know how serious they are in taking the information and stuff. So there are some channels really trying to fight this and stuff. I don't know, man. I just don't know. Eric Breen, you crack me up. Mirror your content with other platforms. Maybe they can help come up with more creative solutions. Dr. Silver Age, laugh out loud. I listen to old time radio shows to go to sleep. Curse time. Yeah. Google and YouTube are under the same platform, the same roof. I doubt that Google is a safe place. Ross Sanders, so I'm a pedo so that person, blah, 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 pedo for watching and enjoying Tim T. Why idiots and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. like I said, it's very black and white. It goes back to the stigma of comics that I've talked about on here, how people think it's mainstream and for everybody and stuff, but it is still going to be seen as for kids. If it is a toy, it is going to be for kids. That is not news on this channel. I've always said that. I've had people want to debate, try to point out a few things. They were convinced. This just shows what I've been talking about, which is probably one of the reasons I didn't panic. I don't have the fear and I'm not up in arms. I've always known that since I was a kid that this is how this stuff is looked at. And it doesn't matter how sophisticated the stories are or anything like that. A sequential art form, no matter who your target audience is, no matter how sophisticated it is, no matter how close to art you get, Mobius, it's still going to be a kid's cartoon. This is like saying that heavy metal, just because the movie Heavy Metal is animated, Fire and Ice is animated, any Bakshi movie just about is animated, it's for kids. So this has been a fight that's been going on since the first Fritz the Cat comic and probably before. You know what I mean? I could probably go on a rant and then I'm going to get in that stream of consciousness where I go through comic book history and just keep coming up with more and more stuff going further and further back and stuff, right? We touched on a few things yesterday where somebody was comparing it to the Seduction of the Innocent and the Comics Code Authority and a lot of other things. The problem is that it's not just targeting comics, There it is. Certainly, Tim's Bunker, just another Wortham moment in history. Yep. See, we have our own language. Anybody coming here because I put the word COPPA in this video and I say Wortham, they're not going to know what we're talking about. What about cartoons? We can't enjoy old school cartoons we grew up on now. Possibility on here. Exactly. Cartoons are for kids. It's animated. So that's what I'm trying to get at. This is things that I've always been aware of, things that I've always had the attitude of, and it perpetuates and it continues today. And there's more important things. I hate to say it, as much as I love this stuff, as much as you guys know that I have waved the flag for this, had no shame about this, I know the reality of the perceptions of this stuff, right? Like I said, my biggest and greatest example of a muggle looking at this hobby is when they went and watched the Avengers movie with me, and that person slowly turned and looked at me and was like, is this what it's like reading comics? And I got to say every month. They just don't get it, and then they're surprised. But drinking beer is mature, and Wizards is shit is 1977 bullshit. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. It's animated. That's how they're kind of looking at this. What would it's the content, and to me, I think there's a little bit of what attracts a kid: animation, superheroes, and stuff. No matter what. Dr. Silverage, man, what is this world coming to? Unbelievable. People who have checked in on here, I've said in a couple videos over the past couple months, I've been getting more and more and more off of social media. And by doing that, I almost missed the seriousness of this COPPA thing coming in. We got here Eric Breen. True. Hey, baby, want to come to my place and check out my comic book collection? It still doesn't work in bars. That's funny. Evan, modernized 1984. The thing about this FTC thing is that they've been around forever. And I mean, we're going for broke here because who knows how long this channel is going to be up with this stuff. I've already made that clear. And there's hot topics and groups and things that I've really tried to steer clear of talking about and stuff, man. But this is what I was trying to get at years ago when I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm trying to be careful here because I'm not trying to act like a martyr. I'm not trying to act like I put out a big warning or anything like that, but I saw it coming. Stuff like this because it's number one, it's always been out there. And if you pay attention, just because we're in a bubble over here, there's still things going on out there and we repeat things. And it's just a matter of time of, somebody getting their attention over here so that our globe, our little bubble can be infiltrated again. It happened with the gaming community after Gamersgate. It happened with the SJWs. It happened with NPCs, whatever they are, and a few other things, right? But, the FTC has always been around. I've always wondered when they were going to take the Wild West of the internet and really come after it. There's been a couple things that have already happened in Congress that people are fighting about the internet as a whole, and now it's coming to YouTube. But I'll tell you, the FTC, it's like I said, once they got a foothold, like in television and other places and stuff like that, they just step up from there. And that's what I was talking about with our hobby a few years ago. When I made that video, SJWs were killing comics and stuff. All they have to do is get a foothold. And the very first foothold that got everybody's attention is when they censored the Batgirl variant comic with the Joker painting a smile on Batgirl. That's where it all started, because that was a victory. So all this stuff was coming to a head at a time. A bunch of predators were around it. Which animal was going to get the prey first is what it was. You get what I'm saying? And I hold by that. And who did it end up being? FTC, COPPA, out of nowhere. It was the predator that stayed the highest that you didn't see, and they swooped in like a bird of prey there, and they got it. You know what I mean? They took it right out of the teeth of all the other predators that were like right there fighting for it. And that's what it's like. That's what this hobby is like. Okay. And that's probably the most dramatic I'm going to get on this. Okay. The evolution of the communications industry. Basically, what we're doing is just venting now. We're venting now, and we got a pretty good crowd of people in here for a Monday. Where will Drag Queen Story Hour videos go? Where will I see its family? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So we have to evolve with it, evolve and overcome. Shirley Tim's Bunker is saying this part here about evolving and overcoming. I'm not letting this stop me. I'm hitting another platform. I have 4 comic documentaries to shoot yet. That's funny. Yeah, that's just it. I'm kind of, wouldn't it be great if we looked at this to a certain example that somebody sees all these people abandoning YouTube, forced out of YouTube, running from YouTube, protecting themselves from YouTube, put in whatever adjective you want or verb or noun about why they're doing it, how they'll get leaving and things like that. If somebody is like, wow, there's a market out there. There's people who are dying to make content, and maybe we can get a new site going. So one of the things you can, wouldn't it just be freaking great to find out that somebody takes advantage of this, that has the know-how? There's no telling. There's always, sometimes when it comes to never giving up is knowing when to make a strategical retreat. You're not giving up. You're just sort of regrouping and getting back out there to see what the other opportunities are. Then you got the cliche of one door closes, another opens and stuff, right? It's all about time. It's all about waiting to see what happens. Just because YouTube is the biggest doesn't mean it's the end all be all, but it does have the biggest audience. You know what I mean? It's built itself up and stuff, and it's already evolved. If you go back and watch Weezer's Pork and Beans video, you'll see what YouTube was in the 2000s and how it changed and what it is now. It's completely different. A comic book channel would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Or fandom related. Yeah. And another thing, it's just amazing. I can picture myself going back to my roots when it comes to, I can't believe I'm old enough to say something that sounds as ridiculous as that. Guys, I'm the everyman on here. I've been told that stuff. I'm the everyman. So some of the things that I end up saying relevant to being online still kind of sounds weird to me. But I can actually see myself, if I really want to do this, I can go back to my roots to comicboards.com on a message board and ended up putting up pictures. You know what I mean? It's like, going back to the beginning, and that message board is still there and stuff. They haven't gone through that. YouTube lived long enough to be the bad guy. Yeah, you can die a hero or see yourself turn into the bad guy as you get older. Yeah, I can go with that. I think you nailed something there, Matilda. I think that's it. They didn't set out to be the bad guy, maybe, but they've lived long enough to do it. Just like MTV here in the States. Okay, guys. Well, throw out some more comments and stuff like that, man. I'm pretty much done. We're down to reading this and telling stories, and I've got work calling. Okay, guys, later.